Hey guys, so this video is for people who have just had a baby, and we are talking about what to do, how to handle the body postpartum. And I'm talking the early days, in that 0 to 3 month time. A lot of people call it the 4th trimester, and it's really important to really honor your body within that time. So are we jumping back into exercise and going back into the intensity that we want to get back to at some point? I would suggest not. Going postpartum back into exercise, it's really about easing in and starting light and easing back in. Now, before we start any program, we want to be clear on the goals of why we're getting back into exercise. All right, so when I'm talking about getting back into exercise, what I'm talking about, the goal is to regain function and strength of our core and our pelvic floor, okay? That's an important goal. Also, we want to have no pain or begin the process of not having any pain as we go about our daily life. And third, we want to start to feel good with our body. So when we come into postpartum exercise, we are not doing a hardcore workout where we're going to feel exhausted. We already feel exhausted. So these workouts, we're going to try to get to them 1 to 2 times per week, and they're very light, nothing crazy. It's very gentle on our bodies. We're going to be at about a 4 or 5 out of 10 in difficulty. So 10 is like you're exhausted and it's so hard. We're at about a 4 or 5 out of 10. So it's not that hard, but maybe a little bit of challenge there. And we want to start with about 10 minutes and work our way up to 30 minutes. All right, so nothing crazy. We're just easing into it before we can really start picking up the notch into some of that high intensity activities that we might want to get to, like running or CrossFit or some power yoga or whatever it is. We want to ease in, strengthen some of those muscles, be able to work towards getting to that end goal. So without further ado, here are some of the exercises that we can start with when we are in that 4th trimester. So the first exercise I'm going to show you is called a glute bridge, and we are lying down on the floor with our feet flat on the ground, lower back all the way down. We're going to have those hands out beside us. We're going to press those heels into the floor as we exhale, lifting up through the glutes. We are going to feel this in that lower back and in the hamstrings here as we lower down, trying not to touch the floor, lifting up through those hips and pressing down with the heel. So this second exercise is called Clam Shell, and basically you're lining yourself up in horizontally on the floor. The bottom knee is bent at 90 degrees, and the top knee kind of goes right on top. It's kind of like we're sitting here. You can put your hand up there to support. Imagine your heels are stuck together, and we're just going to open up through the knee. Try to keep, and whenever possible, try to keep the spine in alignment as you do the exercise. We're just going to keep those heels glued together as we open up, and we're going to feel this all along through those outer hips, those glute medius muscles, and working to stabilize our core as we do this. So breathing in and breathing out nice and gently, focusing on that exhale as we lift that top knee. All right? Another floor exercise we can be doing is called the heel slide. Now this is incorporating our abs into this exercise. So strengthening that core, we want to be lying down on the ground here, feet flat on the ground, arms just hanging out by our sides. We want to engage our core, so finding that connection within our core, maybe bringing those hips into a pelvic tilt, so pressing that the lower back into the floor, engaging our core here as we continue to breathe in and out, but having that engaged core. So we're going to send that heel out from us and then bring it back in, alternating to the other side, sending that heel out and dragging it back on the floor here, lengthening out, dragging in, lengthening out, dragging in. We want to engage our core, have that deeper core connection here. So just starting to activate some of those ab muscles again as we learn and relearn some of these exercises that are going to feel a lot different from when we were first pre-pregnancy. Another ab exercise that we can be doing and we can actually progress to is called a dead bug exercise. So here we have those knees lifting up on top of those hips. Those shoulders are back. We want to try to get that lower back pressing into the floor. So we have that lower back connecting right down to the floor. So what's actually happening is when we hug our knees into our chest, that lower back, that pelvis is tilting back. So that back presses into the floor. When we come up, we're bringing those knees onto those hips. Here we have two options. So this is our home position. We want to go out. So we want to take that left hand, right heel, lengthen out, or just drop down the heel to the floor. Keep that right arm up, and then come back home. Right arm, left heel, come on back home. It's even confusing to say this, let alone do it. So right arm, left heel, drop down, then come back. Left arm, right heel, come back. When this starts to feel like you can get this, the flow, and avoid the lower back from creeping up off the floor, you can progress into straight legs here. So here we are with that right arm down, left leg leading out to the floor but not touching, and then the opposite sides. All right, and continuing on, we want to make sure that that lower back is still stayed down into the floor. All right, so as we progress and move our limbs away from that core area, we want to be able to have that strength of the abs to be able to maintain that pelvic tilt. Great exercise is a wall push-up or an incline push-up. And so basically you just want to step towards the wall and put your hands on the wall right at about shoulder height. You're going to take a step back, knees slightly bent, and we're going to fall forward towards the wall and then push yourself off. All right, so making sure not to bump your head, and also making sure that when you are in close to the wall, those arms aren't reaching up. You want those elbows comfortably down about 45-degree angles as we come closer and then push off. A key here is to let all your body weight fall towards the wall to make it a little bit more difficult for you, and then pushing yourself off. Called a band pull apart, so you just need any sort of band. Any band with resistance would do, all right? So here we're having that band about pushing that band away, holding the band apart, about arm width, so shoulder width apart here, and we're just holding on to that band, opening up, bringing those elbows back behind us, just opening up those arms. We want to try to get to where the band can hit our chest. That's kind of the last part, the most open range of motion that we can get. But here we are, opening that band. This is really good for strengthening those upper back muscles here, because a lot of the time we have baby, holding baby, driving, like cuddling, nursing, whatever it is, eating. We're always in this type of position, so these muscles tend to get stretched and weak. So we want to open up and have those muscles working to strengthen. And the final exercise is a step-up exercise. And I have a step here, but you don't need anything fancy. Just a step, like a stair or a footstool, anything like that. So in terms of cardio, what we want to look at for cardio is we can do cardio 7 days a week. We're not doing high intensity workouts where we're going to be out of breath. These are only about a 4 or 5 out of 10. So if you are doing a workout or whatever and you're feeling like you can't hold a conversation or you can't breathe, and you have heavy breathing, then that's most likely going to be too much. You want to tone it down a little bit, really light, starting with about 10 minutes, going up to 30 minutes, the same kind of thing. Just keeping it light and honoring your body. So some things that you can do are walking, swimming, gentle biking, that kind of thing. We want to just take it easy and feel good in our bodies. We're not trying to run a marathon in that 4th trimester.